Thank you for viewing the AeroWeb demonstration video. For sizing purposes, some of the frames in this video may be smaller than the actual view window. AeroWeb was designed for the busy corporate and charter flight department to help promote situational awareness, improve interdepartmental coordination, and improve overall safety. In this video, I'll be demonstrating AeroWeb's security, flight scheduling, and operations board functions. For security purposes, each user will require a unique username and password combination. AeroWeb has 10 user-defined security levels, and this allows your administrator to set the access level for the various users of your system. Once you've logged onto AeroWeb, the modules are chosen from the View menu. To start using AeroWeb, there are a couple of database entries that are required. Firstly, the crew database is where you enter your crew member specifics. Then the aircraft type and aircraft data is where the particulars for your quote and airframe tracking is entered. The airport database is a preloaded database, but it can be edited to meet your specific company requirements. So let's start the demonstration by reviewing the features of the master scheduling function. So if you have scheduled flights that happen at set times each day, the flight scheduling module lets you build templates and then apply those templates easily to the operations board for tracking and crew scheduling. The schedule input function is designed in an Explorer tree format and allows you to build an unlimited number of flight schedules with a number of flights that may contain multiple flight sectors. As you can see, you can choose the days of the week that the flight sectors would operate, and then you'd enter each of the flight sector details. Once you've entered your flight schedules on the input screen, the next step would be to apply them to the operations board. The Schedule Apply screen is a static operations board that provides you with a view of all of your schedules in a graphic format. The days of the week are selected at the top of the form, and then to apply a schedule, you simply choose the schedule, the aircraft, the period of time that you want to apply the schedule to the operations board, and then click OK. Now that we've covered the database and master scheduling functions, we can move right onto the operations board. AeroWeb's operation board is an electronic version of the static whiteboard. Each flight is depicted by a color-coded strip, but unlike your static whiteboard on the wall, AeroWeb's board works in real time. The focus timeline is the vertical line that cuts through the middle of the whiteboard, and the strips progressively move closer to the real timeline to assist you in your flight watch capabilities. The present in-view time period is displayed horizontally across the top of the operations board. The active aircraft are displayed vertically down the left-hand side of the operations board, and the flights that are associated on the operations board are displayed as strips. The start of each strip denotes the estimated time departure. The information on the strip includes the origin, flight number, and destination, and of course the end of the strip being the estimated time of arrival. You can adjust the operations board to your specific requirement using the toolbar buttons, which include scrolling, selecting a period of view, filtering the aircraft that you don't want to see, or sizing the operations board. There are also three methods of adding flights to the operations board, including adding a multiple sector flight, adding a single leg flight, or using the template feature. The Add Template feature is a nice tool if you do similar charters to the same locations regularly. You can add templates based on your own naming criteria, such as customer or possibly aircraft sectors. When the customer calls, you simply choose the template, choose the time, date of departure, and an available aircraft. And this helps save a lot of time when applying a flight to the operations board. The last items on the toolbar are the Delete a Flight Strip button, as well as the Pause Poll button to make the operations board static. The operations board also features flags when the aircraft is due for a maintenance item or the MEL due date has been reached. When you click on the icon, the system will display a maintenance log item or an MEL that has reached that due date. This helps you avoid from dispatching an aircraft away from a maintenance base. Another key feature of the operations board is the visual cues of the color-coded strips. The gray strips on the operations board signify a closed flight, the yellow is a scheduled flight, and the green is a flight that has departure times already entered. To enter details to track with your flight legs, you double click on the flight strip. Then you have the option of entering flight comments for all of the flights associated, or all of the flight sectors associated with this flight, as well as associating a customer with the flight. Then the details of the flight number, origin, destination, which are checked against the airport database, selection of aircraft with the drop-down, passenger count, cargo amount, fuel on board, and then fuel on arrival. There's also another comment section for those items that you want to track along with just this particular flight leg. The entry of the estimated flight times is in hours, minutes, days, and month. You'll also notice AeroWeb has the optional extrapolation feature, and this allows you to calculate your flight time based on the entry of an estimated time of departure to determine that estimated time of arrival. Or you can do the reverse, and you can enter the estimated time of arrival to calculate an estimated time of departure. The actual flight times are entered in the following fields for actual out, off, on, and in. There's some additional features on the flight form which are quite handy for the dispatcher as well, including a crew button to display the crew assigned to this particular flight leg. There's also an add reminder feature. This allows you to set a pop-up message pertaining to this particular flight, just as a reminder of something that has to be done for the flight. And finally, there's a delay button, which allows you to push the flight back a series of minutes and will actually cascade through the following flights that are assigned to this particular aircraft. Finally, I'd like to review the ease of closing a flight and swapping an aircraft. Closing is important within AeroWeb because the times that are entered do flow through the system, and when you enter the actual flight times, the information flows down through the aircraft as well as the crew logs. And this ensures that the tracking of your crew members' flight times and currency as well as aircraft records are accurate. As you can see, there is a verification process just to ensure that when you're entering the information, it is correct, and you do close the flight, and obviously the flight strip then turns gray. Something that occurs quite often in operations is the swapping of aircraft, and in AeroWeb it's as simple as opening up the flight form, clicking the Edit Leg button, and then selecting a new aircraft from the drop-down. And as you can see, when you do that, it actually ties in the flights on the operations board with the blue line, and this just signifies you get a view of where your aircraft are and where they're moving to. It really helps you with your coordination. So this concludes this AeroWeb demonstration video, and in the next parts we'll be covering crew scheduling as well as crew tracking, charter quotations, passenger management, and reporting.